All right, we are on chapter 10, Cheaper by the Half Dozen. And we ended chapter 9 with Amelia Bedelia stopping back at Wild Bill's Autorama, and she left him a note and a little lemon tart. So, chapter 10, Cheaper by the Half Dozen. When Amelia Bedelia walked into Pete's diner, people turned to look at her. I'm embarrassed, she thought. I hope they weren't here when I stepped on that piece of pie. Then she heard whispering. That's her. Her? Are you sure? Sure, I'm sure, said the voices. It's that little lemonade lady. Amelia Bedelia began to blush. She was so happy to finally see Doris. Doris gave her a huge hug. Hi, Amelia Bedelia, she said. We saw you on TV. You are now a big star. Amelia Bedelia was still blushing and had started to explain what had really happened when Pete came out of the kitchen. Well, look who's here, he said. Step on any pies lately? He asked her. Or did you come back here to kick our coconut cake? Amelia Bedelia sat on a stool at the counter. I actually came to apologize, she said. You gave me my first job, but I didn't do a very good job at it. Pete took a plate of hot French fries from a waitress that was passing by and set it down in front of Amelia Bedelia. Oh, yummy, said Amelia Bedelia, but I don't have enough money to. Oh, relax, said Pete. It's on the house. Whose house? Said Amelia Bedelia. On your house? Oh, never mind, he said. They're on the counter and they're on me. I mean, they're free. Go ahead and eat them. Thanks, said Amelia Bedelia. She put her lunchbox next to the plate of fries and started to dig in. What's that for? Pete asked. Did you bring your own lunch? No, said Amelia Bedelia. I have a present for you and Doris. She opened her lunchbox and took out her last two lemon tarts. Pete took one look at the tarts and declared, Time for a coffee break. He poured 2 cups of coffee while Doris put the tarts on the plate and got 2 forks. Wow, they look terrific, said Doris. They taste even better, said Pete. Do you really like them? Asked Amelia Bedelia. You bake such delicious brownies, they're famous. Ha, said Pete. A great lemon tart takes a lot of skill. My brownies are a dime a dozen. A dime for a dozen? Amelia Bedelia asked. That's a really good deal. She dug deep in her pocket, pulled out a nickel, and put it on the counter. I'll take 6 brownies to go. Doris giggled. So a dime a dozen is just a statement, but Amelia Bedelia took it as that's how much it really costs. So she said, I have a nickel. So she took half. She said, I'll take 6 of them because half of 12 is 6. Doris giggled. Coming right up, hun, she said. You're a better businessman than Pete. Keep your money, Amelia Bedelia, said Pete. Just bring me 2 dozen of your little lemon tarts every day, and I'll pay you 50 cents apiece. Doris did the math quickly in her head. That's $12 a day, she said. Do you think you can do that? Amelia Bedelia thought it over for at least a half a second, and then she gave Doris a thumbs up and Pete her firmest handshake ever. You've got a deal. Amelia Bedelia headed home. She felt great, and she had a lot of baking to do. She cut through the park, pedaling as fast as she could. She sped up when she saw the policeman, and then she flew right past Dina and the dogs. The dogs began to bark and pull at their leashes. Amelia Bedelia looked over her shoulder and waved at them. That was when she ran into Suzanne Scroggins. Literally ran right into her. Bam! There she is going through the park. And can you see, look closely, you can see Suzanne coming on the bike. Both girls were thrown off their bikes. Both bikes crashed to the ground. Amelia Bedelia rolled across the grass and came to a stop at the edge of the flower bed. Suzanne skidded down the sidewalk. Amelia Bedelia dusted herself off, and then she went to see if Suzanne was okay. Are you all right? Amelia Bedelia asked. I guess so, said Suzanne. She pointed at Amelia Bedelia's elbow. You're bleeding. Amelia Bedelia pointed at Suzanne's knee. So are you. Well, why did you run into me? Suzanne demanded. Are you trying to wreck my new bike? What do you mean? Said Amelia Bedelia. It was an accident. Amelia Bedelia remembered that Doris had tucked a napkin into the box of the brownies. Here, she gave the napkin to Suzanne. Wipe your knee. Suzanne looked in the box and said, Ew, gross. What's that? Well, they used to be 6 brownies from Pete's Diner, said Amelia Bedelia, giggling. I must have landed on them when I crashed. They got smushed into one big chocolate pancake. Suzanne smiled. Well, that's a good thing. It looks like they broke your fall. Amelia Bedelia tore off a piece of the big brownie and she ate it. They still taste great. I'd love to have this pancake for breakfast. Here, try some, Suzanne. She gave Suzanne a piece. Call me Susie, said Suzanne. Wow, this is really yummy. Suzanne said goodbye to Amelia Bedelia and got back on her bike. But when she tried to pedal away, the wheel made a scraping sound. Uh-oh, said Amelia Bedelia. No problem, said Suzanne. The bike shop where we got it from is right down by the park entrance. Do you want to come with me and see if they can fix it? Amelia Bedelia and Suzanne walked their bikes over to the bike shop. It was called the Spokes People because bikes have spokes on them. While the owner of the shop, whose name was Marcus Smith, repaired the wheel, they wandered among the rows of bikes for sale. Above her, hanging from the ceiling, Amelia Bedelia saw a beautiful bike. It was just like Suzanne's bike, but it was red. One day that'll be my bike, she vowed. If either of you ladies wants to get a new bike, Marcus said, here is your chance. He tapped a poster on the wall behind him. It said, Annual Downtown Celebration and Bike Parade. First prize, the bike of your dreams. Listen to this, said Suzanne as she read the poster. Decorate your bike for the parade. This year's theme is individuality. The winner can select the bike of her dreams from the spokespeople. Amelia Bedelia was so excited, but a little wary. So far, signs had given her nothing but problems. Maybe this poster would change her luck. She did have one question. What kind of decorations can we put on our bikes? Marcus just shrugged his shoulders. Good question, he said. Well, since the theme is individuality, I guess you can do whatever you want. If I were you, I'd use plenty of imagination and be as original as you can. He spun the wheels on Suzanne's bike. They turned smoothly. All done, said Marcus, and it's on the house. Whose house? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Your house? Pete's house? Huh? Said Marcus. Remember, on the house means it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Thanks, said Suzanne as she and Amelia Bedelia rode off together. Good luck, ladies, called Marcus. And that's the end of chapter 10. Chapter 11 is called Dream Bike Nightmares.